PJ, what's up? My son worked with your brother at Beechwood for like a season. He was a strength coach over
Oh,
there.
really?
Oh yeah, he gave me the lowdown.
All right. Yeah.
He's
Awesome.
he's over Campbell County now, but
He's a camel.
yeah,
Nice.
they're not quite as good as the Tigers. They struggle a bit. What is it about the Mount that produces all these great coaches?
I, we've had a heck of a run there. I think Rod Huber and Jim Hilvert did a great job bringing in guys that really love football. And we talk about here having OKGs, sort of where it came from for us was our kind of guys that are smart, guys that are tough, and guys that love football. And I thought, Rod Huber and Jim Hilvert brought in a bunch of guys like that, and we've all sort of stayed. Maybe not all of us, but a lot of us have stayed close to the game and um, try to give back and try to help each other out as we move forward in this profession. But there's a ton of great ones that came from the mountain, that's for sure.
You're an elder guy too.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Joe Royer may play. Yeah, you've seen him.
Yeah, I've seen Joe his entire career. I think the world of Joe, not just as a football player, but as a person. He's a tough dude. He's a high character young man that I have a ton of respect for off the field. And then when you flip the tape on and watch him on the field, he's obviously a tremendous athlete, super productive. There's a reason why he played in the Big Ten and played in the Big 12, and he deserves to. And I would assume he's going to get a shot to play in the NFL. I think somebody is going to be lucky to have him playing for them on Sundays.
Is it any relief that you don't have to prepare for Brandon Sorsby?
What do you think?
I would, yeah.
He's and the guys behind him are good. I know. Brady is a heck of a player. Got a ton of awards, and Samaj is. You watch him on tape. He had a long touchdown pass this season. I mean, and those guys. You watch their high school tape. Those guys are really good players too. I don't want to think that those guys can't play because I think those two guys are really good players. But Sorsby is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and I know whoever they put in there behind him is going to be ready to go. But um, it is one of those things that you see that, and um, you got to prepare for the other two guys.
All right, I think that's my three.
Wags.
Well, just kind of cleaning up the Army Navy game. I know that the first half they were moving the ball pretty effectively, and you guys were kind of on your heels. I know you made adjustments at halftime, and obviously we saw the result. You dominated. What was Army doing exactly, and what adjustments did you make that mattered?
I probably could have just made things a little bit easier for us in that first series. And to be honest with you, we had a couple opportunities in that first series to get off the field, and they made some really nice plays. Um, a couple calls I probably would have liked to have back. Wags, specifically the one on 3rd and 4, just was not necessarily what we needed to be in when they shifted the formation. Was a little bit of a silly call by me. I didn't put our guys in a great spot right there. We got to do a little bit better job with our block destruction and tackling on that series. But probably just trying to do maybe a little too much early in the football game. And then once we simplified some things and settled down, I thought we got into it to more of who we are, and who we need to be in those particular football games and those CIC games. And I was really proud with our guys with how they responded. That I thought the quarterback for them made a heck of a play at the end of the first half on the boot with the throw back into the boundary. That might have been the best throw that I saw him have all year long. That was a heck of a play by them that set up that field goal right before half. And I do think Coleman Colley took that ball away from him on the next play when they tried to run the ball. I really think Coleman took that ball away. I really wish we would have got a clearer shot on that, or they would have saw it live. Because I do think he took that ball away. In my honest opinion, I thought Coleman played his tail off, played his guts out like he always does. And there's a lot of guys that did, but I think we just settled into the game a little bit more. And I'll take full responsibility for us being a little bit out of sorts in the beginning of the football game. Make sure that doesn't happen again.
Well, can you talk about what your defense did in that second half? I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that against Army. They get one first down on the first possession, and then that's it. And no more first downs. I mean, it's quite remarkable, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, I was obviously extremely proud of them, and I thought we just basically took over the football game with fundamentals, to be honest with you. And we talk about it all the time, and I know you guys probably get sick of me talking about it, but I thought fundamentally we started to play the way that we're capable of playing, and I thought our guys played with a ton of energy and enthusiasm. I think in that second series, Julian got a blindside hit on the quarterback. I would have loved for us to obviously to pick that fumble up, but I thought that really set the tone for what was to come for us for the rest of the second half, and was probably in the back of their mind a little bit that we've got the ability to get to the quarterback at times, and there was some hitting out there on all four sides. You watch the game. There's some that game's always extremely physical, and I thought it was the most physical one that I've been a part of, just collectively on all. When I say all four sides, I mean their offense, their defense, our offense, and really you throw special teams in there as well on both sides, so maybe all six sides. But just excited about the way that our guys came out there in the second half. But that's been this group. Is whenever there's been a little adversity, they've always stood up to it and found a way. And I certainly wasn't surprised by it.
Scott Wyckoff.
That was only two for me.
Okay, you take so long. I thought you were.
That's my fault. I was too long. I apologize.
Trying to come off mute. Last question for me. What led you to start Max Williams? I don't even know how much he's played on defense this season. And what did you think of the way Max Williams played?
Yeah, I thought Max was awesome. I thought he was spectacular. I thought he played at a really high level. You always go into those games and probably the first thing we did going into the game was talk about personnel and putting our guys in position to be successful, and specifically on the back end, and making sure that we were putting the best guys on the field that could have success out there. And Max is a guy that's just come along all year long. He's a low anxiety guy that plays at a high level with a ton of physicality. He got in there at the tail end of the Notre Dame game and stuck Jeremiah Love, probably the best tackle we had on Jeremiah Love in the game. So that was great to see. And we just felt like in this particular game, we needed our best tacklers out there. And he's definitely one of those guys. And I thought he certainly played the way that he's capable of. And we didn't really have any thoughts about, once we made the decision, there was no regret about, him getting his first start on the biggest stage. And I thought he handled it magnificently.
Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, what does it say about the future of this defense to have 5 or 6 sophomore starters respond like they did in the Army game?
Yeah, Scott, I think the future is extremely bright here. We've had a lot of guys that have played for us this year, as you know, and we've tinkered and moved guys around different spots, trying to find the best home for them, the best spots and the best cohesion for us as a defense as well. Obviously our stats are not nearly what we'd like them to be, but the number one stat is that W, and we've been able to get that 10 times this year, so that's been great. But I think we're gonna miss the seniors when they leave after the bowl game. We're gonna miss those guys certainly, but I do think the future is extremely bright, and I think we've got some really good players coming up the pipe that haven't got some action this year too, and are going to challenge this spring. I think I know you guys asked me a few weeks ago. I think we got a lot of coaches on staff that hunt recruiting wise, and we're just we're going and turning over every stone and shaking every bush to find the best players that we can. And I'm really excited about where we're headed.
What does it mean for you and for this program to have a first team All-American like Landon?
I mean, I'm so excited for Landon. So people on the outside see and know what we all on the inside know. And he's been just an absolute blessing to this football program since the moment that he went to Naps, let alone got here to the Naval Academy. And I think it shows people around the country that there's great football that's here, and there are great players that are here at the Naval Academy. And this is a place where you can come and get a phenomenal education, serve your country, do something that very few people choose to do, and at the same time play football at the highest level that you can possibly play football at in college football, and be recognized for doing that. And he's earned, Scott, every single one of those awards. I mean, I don't know how many it is and counting right now, but there's never going to be enough, in my opinion, to recognize Landon the way that he needs to be recognized for what he's done for this program and this defense.
Looking back on last year, how you guys performed against Oklahoma and having the opportunity again to play in a bowl game, how important was that last year, kind of carrying over the momentum into the offseason, and to have that opportunity again to do that this year?
Well, I think a bowl game, is definitely a major springboard into the off season. And I know those guys at Cincinnati, watching their stuff and listening to their coaches, they see it the same way. It's going to be a tremendous battle. And obviously against Oklahoma last year, I mean, we were down multiple scores really, really quickly in the football game. Did not get off to a great start, very similar to how we played Saturday. So we know this is going to be a heck of a challenge. I mean, this is a high-powered offense that we're going against with a lot of really good players. I recruit the state of Ohio, and they've got a lot of these guys, we couldn't even come close to getting to play here. So I know they're super talented with what they do. But this is an enormous game for our football program, and we know and understand that, and we got to prepare accordingly.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in Memphis.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
The current count for Landon is 3 first-team All-American honors and 1 second team, with a couple more still to be announced.
Who gave him second team? Who was that?
Walter Camp. That was Walter Camp. Still a pretty prestigious one. Tim Nolan.
I'm going to have to argue with those guys.
PJ, as your daughters have come to get a better appreciation of what Army-Navy is, what does the rivalry mean to them, and how's it been for you watching them come to appreciate what all goes on there?
I appreciate you asking that. They were so excited after the game, like as excited as I probably have ever seen them. They have grown, Tim, from the point where they're up there in the stands with toys and just trying to be occupied so mom can watch the game, to being locked into the game with mama, and they could not wait for the game for the couple weeks leading up to it. They kept asking about it every night when I come home and in the morning when I would see them. And then obviously to get to celebrate with them on the field afterwards. And I was trying to explain how singing second works, and I wasn't articulating it very well. Like my daughter's like, when you win, like you should, like when you win, you do things first. Like you do things first, not second. So I was trying to explain to her the importance of singing second. I didn't do a great job. So as soon as they got done singing first, I looked right at her and I said, "This is what it's like to sing second." And she just jumped up in my arms and carried her over there to sing second. So that was special. But they were they're still on cloud nine from the game. They couldn't wait to go back to school and tell everybody about the game and everything that happened.
How do you, as a defensive coordinator, go about your prep, knowing that every single day Cincinnati can announce a new player is not playing on the offensive side of the ball? How do you go about your business? Because you have to take that into consideration.
You know, they've got. I'm looking at their depth chart right now, and I know a lot of these guys from, following Cincinnati. Just being from Cincinnati, you always have. The first college football game I ever went to was in Nippert Stadium. It was the University of Cincinnati versus East Carolina. Like that's all. There always been a program that I've followed and been aware of. There's a lot of guys on this depth chart that I know of from recruiting the area and seeing it. So like you see guys that do opt out or decide not to play, and then I look and I see the names behind them, and those are exceptional football players too. And I have a ton of respect for Scott Satterfield and the type of operation that he runs. When I was at Georgia State, he was the head coach at Appalachian State and did a phenomenal job there. And know that always there, they replaced guys with, very, very similar football players. And that's what I see from them. Like, you look at each position and guys are similar in build, size, stature. So they're going to replace guys with guys that are pretty much clones of the guy in front of them.
And lastly, for me, PJ, you said earlier how you really like the direction this program's heading. You just won 10 games for the second consecutive season. How much higher do you think the ceiling of this program can be?
Tim, I think that the standard is the standard around here. And I think Coach Newberry's done a phenomenal job building this thing the right way. And we've got really high expectations for where we can go and what we can do. And I fully believe we're just getting started with what's happening around here. Like this is not something where it's a flash in the pan success. I think this is built for sustained success. Our number one goal always is to develop and graduate young men of character and leadership. I think that is something that we do at a really high level. And then obviously CIC champs and then American Athletic Conference champs. We haven't done all those things yet. And we're going to continue to strive and work to do those things at a really high level. And we talk about it all the time. We're going to chase perfection and catch excellence along the way. And that's really what we strive to do on a daily basis. And I think the culture is in a phenomenal spot. And I think we just got to continue to work and get better. And there's going to be new faces and new names as we move forward into next season. But the standard will not change. The culture will not change. And if anything, we're just going to continue to up the ante.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
PJ, does any of our guys get offered by Cincinnati? Do we have anyone on the roster that was offered by Cincinnati?
I don't think so, Scott. I think that's a good question, but I don't think so.
That's kind of my answer when people want to talk about opt-outs. They still got 70 guys, 75 guys offered scholarships to Cincinnati, and we have none. So
yeah.
Just like Oklahoma last year.
We talked about that a little bit last year. I mean, these guys are really talented. Like I know a lot of these guys as we look at it, and I've there's several guys from this year's class that I recruited, and as soon as Cincinnati offered them, we were out of the mix. And it really isn't something that we win ever in recruiting, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Wyatt.
Hey, Coach, when you go back and watch the first half, I know you said that there were certain things you could have done to make it a little easier for this team to get off the field, but are there still any major teaching points for you as a coordinator coming out of a game like this with the fact this team has quite a bit of time to prepare before the bowl game?
Oh, absolutely. Wyatt, I mean, everything we do, we've got to look at and evaluate and find a way to get better. And I hate all the cliches like you're getting better or you're getting worse. When I was a player, I didn't quite understand that. And now it makes perfect sense to me. And it's the same thing as a coach. Like we have to find ways to improve and get better. Like there's you never play a perfect game. And obviously We were far from perfect on Saturday. And you got to look at each play and each call and each situation and try to find a way to teach it better, to call it better, to put guys in better positions to be successful. Because we know this is an ultra talented Cincinnati football team. I mean, this is a team that plays Power Four football in the Big 12 and puts up 470 yards of offense a game. Like this is a tremendous challenge for us again. And we've had a bunch of really good explosive offenses we've played against this year, and these guys are certainly one of them.
Holding Army to just 3 points in the second half, what changed most in how the defense played? The communication, the execution, or the confidence? You talked about the fundamentals a lot just a moment ago.
Yeah, I firmly believe our attitude was a little bit different with how we took the field in the second half. And I think the guys, as they started to experience a little bit more success out there, that confidence grew and that trust grew. And it's always challenging going into those games, Wyatt, when you do make personnel changes, because you got guys playing next to guys that they haven't played next to all season long. And, that's stuff that goes into us thinking as a coach. And I think we got more and more comfortable with each other as the game went along. And when that happens, it's usually a really good thing for us.
And what can be said about the exposure to so many different quarterbacks over the last 3 games? You get Byron Brown, then you get Lewis on the road against Memphis. Now you take on a team that, like you said last week, forces you to play every inch. What kind of exposure does that give this team, the kind of preparation it needs to go and take on Cincinnati 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, I mean, they presented a ton of challenges for us defensively, and we played a lot of different styles of quarterbacks and offensive schemes this year. I was just down in Ricky Brown's office talking about it. I think that's one of the unique things about this football team in general this year is that we've won a lot of different style football games. Like there's not been like a cookie cutter way that we, recipe for us to win a football game. Like this team has found ways to be successful a lot of different ways. High scoring games, low scoring games, grinded out games, shootouts. There's running attack, passing attack, explosive plays. Like there's been a lot of different things that we've come across, and it's certainly something that we feel like we can continue to learn and continue to grow for as we get ready for the Liberty Bowl.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Springer.
Anything on the Cincinnati offense stand out other than obviously Sorsby's out, but in the receivers? I know the offensive line didn't allow a whole ton of sacks until the TCU game, but there's a few more challenges there, I would think.
It's funny that you bring that up because I'm going through the stats and you see that they've allowed 7 sacks all year long. And that is exceptional with that. And the other thing that you see is that they've scored 245 points in the first half of football games. So they've been a team that has started really, really well. I think they've given up about 138. So they're outscoring their opponents by about 100 points in the first half of football games. So they've been exceptional with those things. I look at them, Scott, personnel wise. I mean, they're exceptional personnel wise. I mean, as good as anybody or better than anybody that we've played all season long. And I look at them and was really impressed with obviously Joe at tight end. And being a linebacker, my eyes generally go to the O-line, the tight ends, the running backs initially when I start to watch them, and all those guys really jump out at me. I think the O-line's really well coached and plays at a really high level as a talented bunch. And then Pryor and Walker at tailback are really, really good players that are explosive and powerful. good vision, speed, athleticism. So they present a ton of issues for us.
You got some local guys. Is Kushel, does he get the most playing time out of the locals that I would know, or
Who's that?
Kushel?
Kush.
Oh,
It's
Kush.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kush is a guy that plays quite a bit. We've got several Ohio guys. Both of our captains are Ohio guys. With Landon being from Copley High School up there in Northeast Ohio in that Akron area, and then our quarterback is from Columbus, from Hilliard, played at Darby. So those guys are both Ohio guys. We got a lot of Cincinnati guys on the team. Kush is probably getting the most action, I think, of all the Cincinnati guys right now. If you might be able to help me, Scott. I'm thinking.
No, I think you're right. Most of them are young.
Yeah, most of them are pretty young. We got a kid from LaSalle, got a kid from St. X, Lakota West. Hopefully I don't miss anybody, but we got an elder guy. We've got guys from a lot of different spots. And I think they all have pretty bright futures ahead of them.
UC's linebacker coach coached at Army, Court Braswell. Did you bumped heads with him a few times?
I don't know him too well. I know several people that do know him and speak really, really highly of him. And obviously, I thought he did a tremendous job when he was at Army. But I don't know him personally. But everything I've heard from him, from people that know him, just speak really, really highly of him. And then I know Tyson Veit, I don't know really well, but he's a guy that was obviously the head coach at Bluffton in the early 2000s. Us D3 guys, man, we always follow each other's paths, and to see the success that he's had coaching college football, obviously at Iowa State, now as the defensive coordinator there at Cincinnati. He's obviously a guy certainly root for, except for when they're playing us, obviously. But Rod Huber, who was my head coach at Mount St. Joe, speaks very highly of him. We talked about him yesterday.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Cincinnati is second in the country in fewest sacks allowed, third in the country in fewest tackles for a loss allowed.
Yeah.
Wags.
Do a great job.
Hey, PJ, I'm going to explore this topic a little more in depth in a phone call. I was actually trying to get in your office, but Strauss said you don't let reporters in your office.
I never said that.
But with Scott on here from the Enquirer, maybe talk about the background of you and Ricky Brown, how long you've known each other. I think you've told me in the past that you first met up in, CYO type ball or something. And, just kind of, I know you have said in the past that you were always way better than him, but somehow he got to Division I in the NFL and you didn't. You became a coach. Can you kind of talk about the background of you and Ricky and how far back you actually go?
We've got 6 minutes left on the Zoom, by the way.
Oh boy. I can't do it in 6 minutes, but I can tell you this. I would never say that I was a better football player than Ricky Brown. He absolutely phenomenal football player. We've known each other. I want to say it had to be probably around. He was probably in third grade. I was probably in fourth grade, or maybe fourth and fifth. He went to Our Lady of Lourdes. I went to Our Lady of Victory. We play each other. You play for your schools in Cincinnati. So like for Our Lady of Lourdes, he's going to play football, basketball, baseball for them. I'm going to do the same thing for Our Lady of Victory. So then you go up against each other. And Ricky was a guy on the west side of Cincinnati that everybody knew about because he was the best player in his class on the west side of Cincinnati. So we all knew about Ricky, known each other for a long time. And then obviously then ended up going to Elder High School, played together there. And then once his NFL career got over and he was getting into coaching, we would meet up in July. Coaching, you got July off generally. We'd meet up in July, wherever we were, to get together and talk about, just coaching in general, X's and O's, leadership, different styles and techniques and things that we've learned. and obviously catch up about each other's families and things like that. And then when the opportunity came available here for a special teams coach, he had just taken the job at Tulsa and had a heck of a job. That's a good deal, and he jumped at the opportunity to interview here, and then we were fortunate enough to get him here. So I tried to sum that up as fast as I could, and certainly, Wags, we can talk a heck of a lot more about that, and I'd love to. I absolutely love Ricky Brown. He's a brother to me. Like, and he gives some bear hugs after football games that have almost brought me to my knees and cracked my back pretty good. So he's as good as they get in the world, man. He is a phenomenal human being and an excellent football coach.
All right, well, since we're low on time, I'll just leave it at that and let someone else get a question in.
You got 4 minutes. Anyone else have one? Open forum. Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, what is the exposure you're going to be getting from playing a high-profile team in Ohio going to do for the program when you recruit that area?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a ton of eyes on us, which is phenomenal, and we've got to take full advantage of it. And I know it's a challenge to play these guys. You know that their stats are out of this world. Their schemes out of this world. The personnel that they have is the same. It's going to be an enormous challenge for us, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that tune into it. And recruiting the state of Ohio for 7 years now, like it is always something where I go into high schools and homes, and I've got to educate them on what the Naval Academy is, and the education you get here, the service commitment, the football, all those things, and how that intertwines and makes this thing so magical. And hopefully for a few hours on January 2nd, it gives everybody tuning in a good insight into what this program is and who we are.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, that's it for Coach Volker. We'll be back at 2:30 with Coach Cronic. Thanks a lot, PJ.
Thanks, everybody. You guys have a great day. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, all those things.